lack of caring, especially where my kids were concerned. This selective memory of mine had come to hurt me and hurt my children. I couldn't let it control our lives again. I was wildly in love with Marshall Whitney Greene and had zero objectivity about him. I decided to force myself to write down, as they happened, any hurtful thing he said or did, all excuses and rationalizations aside. The smallest of psychic wounds inflicted on me or Jennifer or Michael would be duly transcribed. Later, when this relationship headed south, as experience had taught me it was inevitable, I would force myself to read all the ugly little entries. I would see him for the man he truly was, and it would feel easier to cut my losses sooner rather than later. But Marsh didn't give me any material to work with. After 4 months of dating, I didn't have a single line item. Month after month he continued to be his same old, considerate, quick-witted, gentlemanly self. There was so little tension between him and my teenagers, it almost made me anxious. Was this some kind of act the three of them could never expect to keep up? But they really seemed to like each other, and Marsh made time for them without any prompting from me. He invited them to go skiing with him one Saturday. He took them out to dinner one night when I was out of town on business. "I enjoyed helping you with your math homework," he said to Michael. "I'm looking forward to attending your band concert," he remarked to Jennifer. We believed him. So I changed tactics. Maybe my initial love-struck take on Marsh had been dead on. And indeed he was the man of my dreams. If so, why create a self-fulfilling prophecy by concentrating on the negatives? Why not turn this list-making strategy on its head, and instead write down the positives? Instead of relying on selective memory this time, I decided to create proof that this love of ours had legs. Yes, tough times might be inevitable, but I could contrast their number with a written record of the good times, and this record would help me stay the course. And so was born the new list I came to call Remember the Sweet Things. It's laughable now to think of my ever having needed to relive the past in order to endure the present with Marsh. He gave me fresh material every year, with few repeats, even though some of his familiar lines always made me smile. Granted, I stretched the definition of what qualified as a sweet thing to include memorable experiences we shared. Still, 110 pages of sharing, kindness, humor, and affection make for a nice love story. Chapter 1. Meeting Marsh, 1983-1984. I knew better than to answer a blind ad in the help wanteds. If the employer won't tell you who they are, chances are they're hiding something from their own people. Or so we human resource types often counseled others, but I was desperate, so I sent in my resume. It had been a disastrous 6 months since moving from Colorado to Massachusetts. An experienced job skills trainer, I couldn't find a job to even apply for. The labor market was so tight. Both of my kids detested their new schools in Springfield, and my relationship with Joe, the reason we came to the East Coast in the first place, had begun to unravel almost upon arrival. So when someone named Marsh Greene from Worcester, Mass. called, I jumped at the chance to interview with him. It was for a training manager's job at Jamesbury Corporation, a small valve manufacturing company an hour away. I didn't know exactly what a valve was, but what difference could it make, I thought. They were looking for management development. I had written and taught management skills programs for corporate giants like GTE and Mobil. I didn't know where Worcester was either, but based on directions from Marsh and a look at a map, I figured it had to be Worcester. I pictured Marsh as a short, balding Jewish guy.